Talk a little football now, and welcome back into the Pirate Radio studios, former Pirate linebacker who is now the director of player development at ECU, Bruce Bivens, back with us. What's up, Bruce? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about y'all?
Doing good. I saw a picture. I went back and looked, and it was myself, Xavier Smith, and you from 3 years ago. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but also a lot has happened between now and then. So, Bruce, let's kind of talk about where you've been since you ended your playing career and how you got to this spot where you are now.
So I was previously working at Wall Coast Elementary, and I had a taste to kind of pour into the kids, like dealing with like intervention thing. I was the behavior support specialist, and I noticed that was something that I really liked doing. I just like seeing the kids being impact by the things that I can give them, like by the wisdom and knowledge that I can give them. And, I know that was something that I wanted to do. And I can always see myself pouring back into the players because I have the experience of playing college football, doing it at a decent level, and yeah, like it was a lot of things I learned along the way, and I feel like I could be a great help to players, guys around my age. I've been through some things when I played college football in my personal life, and things dealing with the sport football as well. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. You said doing it at a decent level. Do you know how many tackles you had during your career, Bruce? I got it right here. I got you for 236 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 interception for East Carolina, playing as a Pirate linebacker. And you played under, I guess, your position coach, Blake Harrell, right? He was your position coach and defensive coordinator. He's, I guess, your boss now, but also a colleague. So how's the relationship with you and Coach Harrell grown and changed over the years?
Right. It really haven't changed a bit. Like, I've always stayed in contact with Coach Harrell. He's always stayed in contact with me. He's a great guy. Again, I always could see him, being a head coach one day.
Right.
He's such a great guy, and I'm really thankful for him. I'm thankful that he gave me the opportunity that he gave me. Again, our relationship haven't changed. We always stayed in contact with each other. I stayed around. I've been living in Greenville. I know I haven't seen you guys in a long time, but I've been living in Greenville, and I'll just pop my head up in there and talk to him every once in a while, or he'll give me a phone call, ask me how I'm doing, how things going, where I'm working, and things like that, how I'm living. And I really appreciate that, and I returned the favor as well just by checking up on him and seeing how he doing and things like that.
That's great.
Wishing him congratulations for beating NC State. That was something big. I was excited because, while I was here, we never beat NC State, but that was big, and I was just real happy for Coach Harrell. Like, I have nothing but great things to say about him.
Yeah. What was your reaction when you found out he was getting the head coaching job here?
I was excited. I sent him a text message. Hey, Coach, congratulations. It's well deserved. I was really excited because he's a players coach. He's for the players. Anything for the players to make sure they succeed at a high level on and off the field. So, man, you got to love it. Who wouldn't want to work for a guy like that?
We had Rajay on yesterday, and I mentioned you were coming on, and he talked about how you've been around and keeping your just your presence around ECU football, and he said he was excited for you to get that job. And how do you feel, Bruce, having a job at the school that you attended and everything? How much pride does that give you?
I wouldn't say pride because I try to walk with a certain level of humility, but it do make me feel good to know that I'm back where it started.
Yeah.
I knew where the program was at, and I know where it's going. I know where it's at currently, and it actually makes me feel real good. It's like a real circle. It's a circle moment for me, and it just make me feel good to know that, that my presence is going to be appreciated from the things that I did. The guys talk about it. Some of the coaches talk about some of the things that I did, and the players respect that. Mm-hmm. And now I'm able to that open the door for me to be able to pour into those guys.
Bruce Bivens joining us. That was cool hearing you talk about how you were helping kids and giving them inspiration and I guess impact in their lives. And distractions has been kind of a topic this week because it goes back to Justin Hardy joining us Monday. I reached out to Donnie Kirkpatrick and said, hey, Coach, do you got a good story or question I can ask Justin? He said, yeah, ask him about the time he lost his credit card before a Thursday night ESPN game, and he was all flustered, but he still went out, had a good game, and all that. So I've been asking Holton, Rajay, everybody we've talked to this week about, because we see y'all play on TV and we're like, why is this guy not focused? Like, there's a million things going on in your life, right? You said you had some stuff going on. Everybody does. But trying to deal with those distractions while being a football player, it's a lot to handle, right? And does anything come to mind for you where you were distracted, but once the game starts, you kind of got to put it all aside and go play?
Right. Because I just realized what was important in that moment. I know in that moment, me giving my best effort from my teammates, that was the most important thing. I can't let that situation that was bothering me bother me enough to where it's affecting me on the football field. And that's what right now I'm trying to instill into the players. Like, you got to focus on the now. You got to focus on what you need to focus on, because, that can mess you up to what's going on in the future, and I know in that current moment for me when I was playing football, it was the next play. I had to move on. It was the next play mentality, and we got to have that same mentality in life as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Move on.
Bruce, maybe I'll ask you this will be a better question for you to answer next year. What is your role as director of player development? What does all that entail? Right now, you said you're just getting acclimated and you're drinking out of a fire hose, as they say right now. But what are your main duties? Would you say?
Really, life skills, just making sure everything is smooth sailing for the players. Whatever that entails, if it's, class schedules, off-campus check, off-campus living, things like that. Yes, sir.
And it's great for you because you are pretty fresh out of it. Maybe what you could have used a little help on, and you're in a position where you can help the guys with that.
Right, just pointing to the players, just mentoring them.
Yeah.
And I'm still a pretty young guy. I'm 27. I know it may not look like that. I'm a pretty still young. I'm a young guy, so I can kind of meet them where they at.
Yeah, young enough to relate to them, old enough to give them good advice.
Good advice, and they have a certain level of respect for me as well.
No doubt. Bruce Bivens, 2-time ECU honor roll member. You got to be proud about that. I was a student and never on that honor roll. I can tell you that. But so Bruce, how about the team itself? I love where you say you like the direction they're going. Been a lot of turnover this year. I guess including yourself with the new role on the staff. But there is some stability there with Blake Harrell, with the quarterback Caden Hauser, and some guys returning. So you feel pretty good about where the team is right now?
I'm on the staff. Look, we shooting for positivity. We shooting for things to go the right direction. I know Coach Harrell, he's going to lead us in the right direction. So, yes, sir.
Are you seeing that positive energy from the bowl game leading to the off-season workouts and stuff like that?
Most definitely. And whatever I can do to contribute to that, I'm doing that. So,
let's see, Bruce. Did you just miss out? No. We had you the first year, I guess, NIL. That's why you joined. So you got one little taste of it, right?
A little taste, just a little taste.
You didn't get the whole meal.
Right.
But how about where that's going? How do you feel about that as far as where the college game is right now with NIL and everything?
It has its pros and cons.
Sure.
And I believe everybody else feel the same way.
Yeah. And Bruce, you are one of the guys, a 5-year guy, I guess, at ECU, and did the transfer portal ever tempt you, I guess, and later in your career?
I really wouldn't say that. I'm not the type. I like to stick stuff through. I like to see, my labor. I like to see it. I like to see where it's gonna go. If I put into something, I don't want to give up. I don't want to turn away. You persevere. It's beauty in it. In some shape, form, or fashion, it's beauty in it. Obviously, I attempted to shoot for the NFL, but God had other plans for me. And look where I'm at now. I'm the director of player development. It's a full circle moment. I'm back pointing to the players, back where it started for me.
And you had a mission too, Bruce, you and your teammates, to get ECU football back to relevancy, back to the winning ways. Were you on the team that went to the bowl and didn't play? That's a bitter taste, but you got the Pirates back to a bowl game, and that had to mean a lot for you.
It did mean a lot for me. That was an emotional time for me. just making it back to a bowl game, all the sweat, all the tears, you know, from losing season after losing season to finally having a winning season my last year, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
That I didn't give up. I didn't take the easy way out by going to the transfer portal or leaving or going somewhere else or just giving up on it. I didn't give up on it. You know, I trusted the guys around me. I had trust in myself. Obviously, God led me in the right direction that I needed to be with the help of God. And I'm just thankful that we made it that far.
And look, I'm I guess mature enough to know that not everybody that transfers is doing it for a wrong reason. There's family things. There's all kinds of positive reasons to go to another school. Sometimes coach will kind of force you out the door a little bit. But obviously, I want everybody that comes to East Carolina to stay here. And Bruce, you have a pretty good message to guys that are maybe thinking about it, that you can talk with and say the grass isn't always greener. I stayed and made this thing into a winner. So I think from that standpoint, you could probably give some good advice.
I really could, because you know, like for my situation, it would have been an easy way out for me. It's not like
you could have gone and played where, you know, at a lot of places.
Possibly. So that was an opportunity for me, but again, I've always looked to the goal was to make it to a bowl game. You know, there's always ways to get out of things. There's always different, you know, doors opening, but are they good doors? The grass not always green on the other side. Like I can enter in the portal, hey, we want to offer you this amount of money to come over here, and guess what? You get over there, you stuck. You was better off just pushing through. You didn't already put in the work where you was at. Why not get something up out of it? You know. And
I bet, Bruce, if I asked you 3 years ago, hey, you think you'll be the director of player development at ECU? You'd have been like, what? But another message you can give too is you said that, you know, God has a plan and everything, but just stick with it, and good things happen to good people for the most part. So I think there's another, because if I'd have said, hey, what are you going to be doing 3 years from now, this probably wouldn't have been your answer, right?
I'm telling you, it wouldn't.
Right. But you're happy where you are. So.
I'm happy where I'm at. Obviously, I had dreams to make it to the NFL, to make it to the, you know, the highest level that I possibly could. But again, God had other plans. Life happens. And life don't change for no one.
It
doesn't.
Because you could have played somewhere out there if you wanted to. Did you try any smaller leagues or anything?
Right. There was definitely opportunity for me to do that. The Canadian League, the UFL, XFL, teams like that. It was opportunity, but again, I had to. Life hit. You know, you got to pay bills. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay bills. You got to make money, and you can't just sit around. Like, you know, you got to provide and do the things necessary to live.
Good stuff, man. Bruce Bivens joining us. Go ahead, Chan.
What's the next step after this? Do you want to get into coaching, or what's the plan?
Wherever God leads me, and then I'm sticking with that one.
Yeah,
because it got me to where I'm at now.
I see you on the sidelines a lot. I think the year after you graduated, maybe you were on the sideline for the spring. I've seen you at some practices. Like, how tempted are you to go in there and maybe try to give some pointers to some of these young linebackers?
I'm always tempted to do that because I'm real passionate about the game. I love football, and any way I can help, you know, I definitely want to do that. You know.
Well, Bruce, we'll let you get back to work, man. What's day-to-day like for you now? Just keeping up with the players?
Just keeping up with the players.
Communicating?
Yes, sir. Just keeping up with the players, making sure everything's aligned perfect for them to be successful. Good deal. Well, Bruce, man, we're proud of you, man. We knew you'd do something good, but this is great. This is a great spot you're in, and we'll talk to you again down the road, man, but appreciate you joining us today. Yes, sir. Thanks, bro.